There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast. How are you this morning? My goodness, it was cut very, very fine this morning, right up to the wire there at 8 o'clock on this, the 21st of January, 2025. All sorts of, well, I forgot to set the show up last night, went to set it up this morning and realized I hadn't done all sorts of things, as though the men in black had shone a little torch in my face and made me forget everything yesterday that I would normally do the night before the show. Good morning to you, Olá Bom Dia. Tudo bem? T-Duck, Bom Dia ALEGRIA Gumpers, you say, with a nice orangey heart this morning. And Gemini Bradshaw, good morning, everyone. Hi, how are you doing, Gemini? Others are here. Haven't said hello yet. Coach Turner has. Bom dia a todos. E feliz terça. The great outdoors is somewhat foggy this morning. Did you see what I did there? The greats outdoors. The greats outdoors I'm referring to are Jason Hall of Quinta Essencial, and head gardener Lee McGrady, talking about growing food, which of course Jason does and sells it at Quinta Essencial in central Portugal. We'll talk to him at 8:20. And Lee McGrady has sent us a film in as well. He's sending us a series of little movies that he's making in the garden. He said he'll make one today about working in the rain. We had that weather warning yesterday, didn't we? We had severe downpour here on the Silver Coast. I hope it's fine where you are. We all take a look at the weather as well. And I made a mistake. The way this month is working with third Tuesdays and fourth Wednesdays and so on, it's a very strange formation of how the dates and days fall. We've got 5 Wednesdays this month, 5 Thursdays, and 5 Fridays this month. So we'll go freestyle with our programming. Well, don't we always, in a way? But we'll go extra proper freestyle. So I get a bit closer to the microphone as well. Tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. So if you think there's anybody I should approach who should be on the show, who wouldn't ordinarily be on, let me know in the chat or send me a message to 913-590-303. I can't see the other side of the road, says Coach Turner this morning in the UK. In other news, there's something unsettling happening over the pond. It's interesting. I didn't see much of the inauguration, and a lot of the Chicken Little warnings don't seem to have come to very much, which I guess a lot of us were anticipating, right? We're very much proceeding in the way that James Holly talked about. We'll see. We will see, won't we? This reality is the way it is because it's the only one we've got, and it can't be any other way. However, we can co-create and collaborate to make it other, can we not? Which is what certainly feels like the spirit of the times to me. More of that on the moment with me and Mrs. M at midday. And tonight, if you want to get stuff off your chest about the American election, the inauguration, a good place to do that is with me and the Portuguese at 7 p.m. this evening. Bom dia, Carl and company, says Bob, probably Bob of Bob and Viv. Good morning to you both. And João Ernesto also in. I'll come to some interesting news. What I think is interesting news anyway, that's connected to the great outdoors here in Portugal in just a moment. After I've said hello, my mum brought me up well. Good manners. Say hello. When someone says hello to you, you say hello back and take your hands out your pockets. Bom dia ALEGRIA Portugal from João Ernesto de Nord. And Rugby Colin, our electricity was off. Think of the money you've saved, Rugby Colin. I've just received a €240 electricity bill for the last month. Saved, I don't know, 40 or 50 euros there possibly. Colin, 13:30, 1:30 yesterday to 6 o'clock. That's not a great time to lose your electricity. You want that to happen when you're asleep, really, don't you? How much we take it for granted. Everything you think of doing is impossible. I found that when my water was cut off, what are we like, Colin? My water, well, a lot of it was incompetence and cultural differences. Last week for my water. I'm not sure with yours, Colin. Probably there's so much work going on around where you live. It's probably something to do with that. And Mike is in as well. One bag and a passport. Bon dia, Gumpers. Right, let's go to the first of my stories. I did manage to make a nice cup of tea from which I will sip now, if you'll permit me. First sip of tea of the day. That's fantastic. I'll drink the rest of that when we're talking to Jaz, Jason Hall at 8:20 this morning. Right. The thing that caught my eye this morning, among many other things, it has to be said, if I give you a little bit of a sweep of the news over at the Portugal Resident, and we've got a whole range of stories as we have. It does look like a slightly more interesting time news-wise, all sorts going on. It obviously goes quiet, doesn't it, over Christmas and New Year, which just goes to show it's not that important, is it? The news, it's so important, but we'll take a break and just put it on a skeletal staff around the world in the newsrooms until we get excited about everything again. I'm going to look at calling all cyclists and hikers to the Western Algarve. This is a really nice facility that's just been unveiled. Another thumbs down for government's proposed change to land law. It says here in the Portugal Resident as well, the controversial, that seems to be the whipping boy news story of the moment, doesn't it? The government's changes to the land law to make building a little bit easier. University of Algarve to build 2 new student residences. I guess when I said there was a lot going on in the news, it's not that exciting, but isn't it nice to know that? I mean, there are a few, 1 or 2 grisly things which I won't share with you this morning. But it's quite, as well as the supermarket, the obligatory supermarket opening, new Lidl here, new Mercadona there, University of Algarve to build 2 new student residences. Over at the Portugal News, I want to talk to you about the new camping car park. That is the unsexiest bit of marketing I've heard for a long time. Come and camp in a car park. More about that. The 2 news articles I'm sharing with you this morning have a similar theme. And news that we've all been waiting for, the new Lisbon airport to open in 2036, 2037. Should we have a quick look at that now and see whether there's anything in that? Say that to a Portuguese person and they'll be like, yeah, whatever. But I think we should have a brief look at this before we look at camping in car parks and the new cycling and hiking trail in the Algarve. Right. Who's this? Who's behind this story in the Portugal News then? But excuse me a minute. Did you think someone was at the door? No. Just needed to cough and I didn't want to do it over you. ANA Aeroportos de Portugal expects to open the new Lisbon airport in mid-2037. How long? What? That's ages away. Or with optimizations to the schedule to be negotiated with the government at the end of 2036, according to the initial report. So there you go. If you were thinking, it'll be only 5 years or something like that, and we'll be able to use it. 2036, 2037. In the report published on the official website of the Institute of Mobility and Transport, the IMT, which has received the green light from the government to proceed with an application for the Luís de Camões Airport, that's what it's going to be called, begins by highlighting that based on the schedule provided for in the concession contract, the environmental authorizations and the complexity of the works foresees the opening of the new Lisbon airport being called the NAL. It's gnarly, man. It's been gnarly from the get-go. NAL, the new Lisbon airport, I guess that's Novo Aeroporto de Lisboa in mid-2037. However, and are there any comments yet? What's up with the commenters at Portugal News? That's always the best part. Nobody's flamed this story up yet. However, of course, the report points out some possible optimizations of the schedule, which you know what that means, delays, right? ANA is interested in discussing with the Grand Tour, which will allow considering an early opening of the early opening will be the end of 2036, everybody. So calm down if you're expecting a fairly imminent opening of the new Lisbon airport, right? Good morning to Antonio Barbosa as well. Tony Time, the man in the Minho, moist or chilly or both? Morning greetings. It is milder everywhere, isn't it? I think it's fair to say. It's so much nicer here to have mild, if rainy weather here on the Silver Coast. 16 degrees in Villanova de Cerveira. Happy Tuesday, says Antonio. And after many days of mornings in the 3s to 4s, there you go. It's pleasant to wake up to quite a mild 12 today. Absolutely. And the power in Caldash was off for a few hours on Sunday as well. Interesting stuff. Deagle's in also. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpus from a damp but okay Belfast. 8 degrees today, but decent weather. for an outside job in the garden, spring, summer, not far away. That's what you're looking for, is it? Or is 8 degrees the decent weather you are hoping for, Deagle? Peter also in this morning. Bon dia a todos. The Welsh are fairly quiet so far this morning. Do you see that yesterday? Or nudging the Welsh invasion yesterday. Where's Jackie? And calls to learn. Oh, Colin's representing as well, of course. Colin Ross Jones. The Portuguese Welsh affinity well represented here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Right, let me then go to the calling all cyclists and hikers. This is lovely. Cycle and hike in the Algarve with this new initiative, and then we'll look at the funny news item about the camping car park. I suppose it's for camper vans, isn't it? But camping car park, it sounds so unglamorous. Golden age of holidaying and leisure. Yes, come and stay in a car park. Right, let's have a look at this one then. This is a beautiful new pink road. You know, these are European funded, aren't they? Often these pink roads that in many ways you might argue don't get enough use. And they'll only get used if we go and use them, folks. New coastal paths unveiled in Vila de Bispo. Who fancies as one of their New Year's resolutions this year, jumping on a bicycle or getting out and walking more? I know I do, and I have been actually. I haven't done much cycling. No, I never really go touring on my bike or go to town or down to the shops. But I would like to walk more and further here on the Silver Coast. And this is also very inviting as well. Down in the Western Algarve, cyclists and hikers looking to explore the Algarve's stunning western coast. I think you'll have a great time if you go down there. And this motley crew here, they don't look ready, really, do they, for a cycle or a walk? They look like all the folks who were told that morning that they were going on a photo shoot to publicize this new part of the network here in Portugal. They don't look ready for it. There are a few obligatory bicycles possibly parked up to the right there. The Vila de Bispo celebrated the grand opening. Who doesn't like a grand opening of its southwest coastal Ecovia and cycle path? The Ecovia e Ciclovia. Oh, sorry, Ecovia e Ciclovia. I think I prefer Ecovia. Sounds like a new country, doesn't it? The Litoral Sudwest. On Saturday, last Saturday, the event led by Mayor Ruta Silva was attended by key figures such as José Apolinario, head of the Regional Development Commission, the CCDR in the Algarve, of course, the José Caetano, president of the Portuguese Bicycle Tourism Federation, local officials, community leaders, there they are in the picture, and residents also joined the celebration. What's happening here then? Oh, we're opening the cycle track. Oh, can I be in the photo? Yeah. We need a few more people in the picture. This new network of paths features 31.5 kilometers of cycling and walking paths. That'll make a nice Gumper outing, would it not? Or weekend. The first is a 26-kilometer path connecting Sagres to Aljazur, while the second is a shorter 5.5-kilometer cycling path. Cycle paths everywhere these days. Is it a narcissistic cycle path? Linking the Quatro Estradas roundabout, not the Quatro Estradas roundabout in Sagres to Cape St. Vincent, Portugal's and mainland Europe's southwesternmost point. Both paths were designed to take advantage of low traffic roads. Very good, with breathtaking views, making them enjoyable for locals and visitors alike. Love it. The great outdoors on Good Morning Portugal this morning. Although the longer route was designed mainly for longer journeys, while the shorter path boasts several points of interest along the way. Representing an investment of 1.77 million, the project was 70% funded by European programs such as Algarve 2020 and Algarve 2030, as well as the National Tourism Board, Turismo de Portugal. The launch ceremony was held as part of the town's St. Vincent Day festivities. There you go. The Ecovia also links the Eurovelo network. Now, this is what makes it especially interesting, I think. You can cycle across Europe, a system of long-distance cycling routes spanning 70,000 kilometers across Europe. In the Algarve, there are 3 main regional paths, Litoral Sul, Costa Vicentina, and Guadiana. These paths connect urban areas, making them ideal for commuting. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Commuting by bike along such a beautiful pink cycle path. sightseeing, or a leisurely bike ride. So far, 74 kilometers of the planned 250 kilometers in the Algarve has been completed, with more to come under the Algarve 2030 program. Villa do Bispo has already finished 24 kilometers of its network, while Algesur is working on its 60 kilometers still. Thank you, Michael Brujo, in the Portugal resident there. Isn't that lovely? I need another cough. Hold on. Oh, that was a much bigger and longer cough, and you'll be glad I didn't do that on you. Pam, got your message late last night. Yes, I would love to do that, and I had been meaning to get back to you. We've missed you. Yeah, I did mention, did I not? And this is not apropos to you personally, Pamela. But yeah, how's it going with the any New Year's resolutions that you may have? I mean, let's not be too strict about it. James is here. He's told us how silly resolutions can be. Bom dia, Gumpas, Felicitas a todos. Como va todos this morning? But I think it's fair to say when the new year comes, we think of doing new things, do we not? How's that going? Have you stuck to anything? Have you thought of new things to do? Have I inspired you to get down to the Western Algarve and get on that lovely cycle path there, which is our main news item of the morning? I think that's another little great contribution to life here in Portugal, especially around tourism, but also working very well for local people. But actually, that's a good point. It's not just for tourism, it's for commuting and for leisure for local people as well. So a great win-win down there in the Western Algarve. Let me then go to this before we have a look at the news and this milder weather around the country, one more wafer-thin news item to do with the great outdoors and the camping car park, the excitingly named camping car park here. It sounds a bit like a dogging thing when they put it like that, doesn't it? I'm not sure, and I've lost it now. Was this over on? Hold on a minute. Let me just stop sharing and go back to the piece that I found. Oh yeah, new camping car park. We're going over to the Portugal news for this one. Where's Pete this morning? He's noticeably absent. There's a comment like that that will flush him out, though. New camping car park opens, the largest outside France. Now, two things here. That's quite the claim, isn't it? And are they hoping that people will come from miles around to see the new big camping car park? And the suggestion that the French have got the biggest one, and aren't we lucky to have the second biggest? Camping car park has announced the opening of a service and parking area. It's a motorhome thing in Lavos. This is Figueira da Foz. Then if you've got a camper van, the largest outside France. I'm still not feeling it. Are you? This is the first area managed by Camping Car Park in Portugal, located on the coast, in this case, right in front of the Praia da Costa de Lavos. Have you been to Figueira da Foz? Massive beach there, and joins the two areas opened in 2023 in Pinhel and Penacova, both inland of the country. Penacova, not far from... I'm seeing no pictures of it here. This is very, very, actually very strange, I think. I'm not feeling like I want to go yet. The Asa de Lavos offers a total of 63 spaces and is equipped with essential services for motorhome users. You need fresh water and you need to get rid of the blue stuff, don't you? The space is also served by public toilet facilities. I think they've made a very, very big news story out of quite a small piece of news here. No doubt of interest to you. Oh, there it is in the picture. The editor must have said, look, have we not got a better picture of this? That's where I guess in the left-hand side of that picture is where you're going to stick the 63 vehicles. And I was quite honestly expecting something a little bit bigger. If it was going to be the largest camping car park outside of France, I was expecting it to be perhaps a little bit bigger than 63 vehicle bays. But there you go, in the area of Figueira da Foz, the largest outside France camping car park. I suppose that will be exciting if you're a camper van owner. JMC is here. Bom dia, rapaziado. Good to see you, JMC. And thanks for popping into the moment as well yesterday. Pete needs flushing for... He does, doesn't he? He does need to give it 5 minutes, you might say. He'll be along in just a moment. Let's have a look at that Spartan FX weather then, shall we? Over at goodmorningportugal.com on our tab. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, folks, we're getting excited now about the 15th. Saturday the 15th is going to be party time. Good times, Gumpers, here on the Silver Coast. The first of many, I hope. of such gatherings, a bit of karaoke, bit of talent, bit of disco dancing. We have requests, especially from the ladies who want to dance somewhere that's not a cattle market nightclub at 2 a.m, but more like maybe 9 o'clock in the evening, where it's safe to dance and have fun. And we certainly will be doing our best to provide that. Get over here, Pedder, with your karaoke and your DJ PA. That's what we need at the moment. That's what I'm trying to source here on the Silver Coast. So hopefully see you on the 15th. Hope you can make it. And if you go to the tab, actually, what I'll do is I'll also give you the tab for the San Martino de Porto hotels and accommodation. So I'm popping that into the chat now. That's where you can find out more about accommodation. But come along, we're gonna have a great evening on the 15th. And there's actually, as it turns out, there's a beer festival in Caldas de Rainha as well. Widely scattered light. What's that all about then? Okay, let's have a look at the weather as we anticipate the arrival of Jason Hall. I think he forgot last time, didn't he? He was meant to be joining us, and it's feeling a little bit like that this morning as well. Although I think with the new time is throwing some people, isn't it? And I think we meet him in the middle of the school run, which is not a kind thing necessarily to do to parents at this time of the morning, isn't it? But hopefully Jace will be with us in just a moment. I'm just refreshing. Oh yeah, okay, I have sent him a link for that. That's good. Let's take a look at the Spartan Effects weather, currency, and the weather. They go up and down and they change, don't they? I wonder how it's been looking with the markets with the inauguration yesterday of Donald Trump for the second time, and some of the things that he has been saying and saber rattling and so on, and executive orders and this, that, and the other. I wonder what effect that's had on the currency markets. And we'll speak to, well, it won't be until next Tuesday, I think now, until we speak to Sarah. But some of you who may have been keeping an eye on that might be able to help this morning. How have those currency markets been? Here's the weather. Lisbon, 50 degrees. Yeah, all the temperatures up, I think. 15 in Lisbon. Light intensity drizzle. Light intensity drizzle. The touch of the old LID there, rising to 17. Porto rising to 16, currently 14 with broken clouds. A little bit of rain there today. Oh, for the rest of the week. Okay. It's rain all the way as I look at the Lisbon weather forecast. Same in Porto. Not so much in Coimbra. 17 degrees the high. And I think a little bit of rain. Actually, yes, that is rain, isn't it? Sorry, there is rain forecast in Coimbra in Central. 17 the high, though. That's nice, isn't it? Comfortable. 17 the high in Faro as well. Also rainy. I think we've got occasional flashes of sun on Thursday in Coimbra. On Friday in Faro, and Braga is 15 degrees for the high today, currently 12. So it's either cloudy or cloudy and rainy, generally speaking, as we scroll down, with occasional sunny outbursts later on in the week this week. So I think, yeah, better temperatures, but pretty moist around the country. I think I heard the arrival of Jaz. So let's take that weather off the screen, give him a nice round of applause, and bring him onto the screen.
Morning, guys.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, very well. And I hope this this earlier start isn't too much of an inconvenience. School run, though, right?
School run? Yeah, this morning, because I just saw you doing the weather, and so we've had like 3 or 4 overcast days, and so this morning I've just had to nip down to the petrol station, go and get some fuel for the generator, because one of the disadvantages of an off-grid shop is if you do get 2 or 3 days, I have to do something about it. And so right. this morning was that morning.
Do you know, in all the conversations we've had about the shop, Quintessencial, Jace, I didn't realize it was off-grid.
Yeah, the whole farm is off-grid, yeah.
Okay. All right. Very interesting.
So
your cash register, your lighting, and any heating you might need, powered by generator.
The Wi-Fi, the refrigeration, all of the till, everything.
Wow. Okay. And presumably you've got battery power in the meantime to keep such things going.
Well, I've got 4.8 kilowatts of lithium batteries.
Right.
And so the system for the shop is actually okay. That will still just about tick over under its own steam. But on the truck, I've got a separate system. so that the two don't interfere with each other. And that's the one. It's got pumps and stuff for our shower and everything that we use, and it's a bit of a smaller system. And that's the one that needs charging this morning.
Very good, very good. So how's it going there, mate? What plans do you have? I mean, it's been amazing to see your progress at Quintessencia. Loving it when you post pictures of your produce when you're going to the market. I know you've been supplying local restaurants. It's been pretty exciting, really, to watch the development. What's in store for 2025?
Well, a bit later today, I'm going to take Linda, the car, for its inspection.
Right.
And then my plans for 2025 is hopefully to never touch another spanner. That would be amazing.
Pretty tense, right? In the last year with car trouble.
I could have started a YouTube channel on how to fix a Mitsubishi L200 without too much trouble. I think there'd have been lots of content.
And that's the very special pickup truck of Portugal, isn't it? That you see around the countryside of Portugal. That
they're ubiquitous in this area.
Yeah, with
that,
the paneling, the drop-down panels on the side, and so on.
Yeah, you can't say that you work in agriculture if you don't have one.
Oh, okay, all right, and you know it intimately and inside out now.
Yes, unfortunately, I've had my hands in most of Linda's bits and pieces over the last year. But the thing is, it's kept us going all the way through, and so it's one of those love-hate relationships. But hopefully today I can go and get a nice new green sticker.
Yeah, nice one. Right, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you, mate, over here. And that you drove Linda over to the Silver Coast, didn't you, when you came to see me that time? Yeah, amazing. Okay, well, let's hope she's got another few years in her, and you'll find out later on today. And presumably they might already know you down there. And
not so much at the test station. I only go there the once. Now, Marcelo, my scrap man, he's on my Christmas card list.
Right. So, Senor Jason, nice to see you again.
Another huge lump of metal, 250 euros.
Yeah, you've bought an entire car from him in pieces there.
Yeah, it did get to the point that he was like, I've got a whole engine there. You could just buy the whole engine.
Yeah, amazing. And there must be quite I suppose, an informal network across Portugal with all the farmers and outdoor folks who've got these vehicles.
Yeah. People don't tend to let things that everything has a value here, which I quite like.
Yes.
You know, I could buy a complete car the same as mine, probably in as good or slightly better condition. If I was in the UK, I could probably buy it for £500.
Yes, right.
You know, it's one of those bits. And so, but I mean, it's just going to be that one job, hopefully, that I can cross off the list. All I need to do is get it through the test, and then I can keep it running. And so I'll be employing some practical manifestation this afternoon, and for 30 minutes only, I'm hoping to make it so that my car looks like a shining example of safety for the roads.
Well, that's good. Excellent. All right. Wonderful stuff, Jason. And the market schedule for Quintessencia, is that going to be growing this year as well?
Hope so. We've applied to do the market in Pedrogo Grande, the municipal market. We're waiting to hear back from those guys because they've just been refurbing the market hall.
Yeah.
And so I think that's due to open in the next month or so. And so we're hoping to get ourselves in there. But business-wise, we did a silly thing last year and we went through the limit for IVA.
Oh, okay.
And so we've had to register for IVA this year, which, I mean, it's an extra set of stuff to do, but we'll probably actually end up benefiting because the car uses quite a lot of diesel.
Yeah.
And diesel's obviously, diesel's charged at, 23% tax.
Yes.
And so we might actually make a little bit of money. But the main thing about being registered for EVA now is there's lots of other businesses that we can approach.
Yeah.
Because now we're on that thing, it's essentially a 6% discount.
How does that work then?
Well, because if a restaurant or somebody buys their food from us,
Yeah.
they get to write off the 6%.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Tax.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
I was having to cover people and charge people for before, because I still had to pay tax, the
Yes.
IVA,
Yeah.
but I couldn't reclaim it.
Yes. Very good. Okay. So it makes you a proper business, really, doesn't it? Once you're in the IVA realms.
Yeah, don't. I have a reputation to think about.
Yeah, sorry about that. Some might say, yeah. Well, that's quite the move. And actually, whilst we're on these matters, you're one of the people then that asks other people if they want their country rent on their builder, aren't you? Is that part of things as well? Do you have to do that?
So yeah, I have to ask if they want their numerical contribution. Yes.
Wow, I don't think I've met any foreigner who's on that side of the counter, as it were. Who because normally it's us that gets asked that, and it's a bit of a curveveball first time. What's that? Why do I need to do that? But you actually ask people for that, and you're a tax collector basically. Then, sorry.
Oh no, yeah, I get that. Yeah, yeah, I have to ask everybody.
Yeah, by law, that's right, isn't it? Every shop has to ask.
Yeah, because so I have to offer everybody a receipt, and I have to offer everybody to have their numerical contribution, because I can be tested, and so you can, it's like finances police.
Yeah, right.
They could pop in, ask to buy a few things.
Yeah.
So it seems like I have to have my pricing displayed.
Yeah, yeah.
And
this is all very interesting stuff, because we don't know it we know it as consumers, but you're actually doing it, aren't you, as a service provider? So that's these two things are legal then, aren't they? You've got to show your prices, which probably is a very old-fashioned Portuguese thing, and you need to ask people for their NIF, so that they can get the tax relief on that. This is amazing. All the things that you've become involved in as this process has unfolded. It's quite extraordinary.
I've got to admit, it's a bit less intense these days.
Good.
But like wading our way through that in the beginning, it was a minefield, and it really was. Like, it seemed like a lot.
Yes.
But now all of those things are in place, and it's just a matter of maintaining it all. It's it's not too overbearing, if I'm fair.
Excellent. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Right. So yeah, another market. Our market's also closed at the moment for a bit of a refurb, but you'll be at Pedroga Grande. Any other people wanting your delicious produce? And what else might you be growing and adding to the your repertoire? You're in the garden there this year, Jaz?
I mean, the garden's going to carry on as it was. We're just getting ready to. I'm just adding manure and plant and covering at the moment, and getting ready to put some more stuff in maybe in a month. But the thing we really want to expand this year is the ferments and vinegars and this kind of thing.
Yes.
And so I've written up a food safety plan, which we'd have to have. Found a registered kitchen that we can use.
Right.
Because over the next big 2-year plan is to try and get Quinto Essential vinegars and ferments and stuff into proper shops.
Very good. So another thing then, it's going into that level of production, you need to have certain kind of food hygiene standards and production facilities, right? So, man, you just keep going deeper into all that's absolutely necessary, don't you, in being a proper business?
Well, I'd quite like to build a house at some point. I do love living in the truck and stuff, but with 3 of us in there now, it's getting ever smaller.
Right.
And so we'd like to try and push it along far enough that we can start getting back on with some of the original things we wanted to do, which were more land-based and getting ourselves comfortable and stuff like that.
This is amazing to see this progress. I want to ask you more about that, because if I reach up here, She may have been in touch with you. Toddy, who makes this tonic,
Right.
she wants this is packed with this is our well-being bit this morning, everybody. This is packed with goodies, and it's a
Okay.
proper tonic made of organic vegetables and roots and herbs and all sorts of good things. Now, part of this, which Toddy used to make in Colorado, and she's now here in Portugal and wants to make it over here, and we'll have to do the same thing as you, right? Get into a pucker production facility to do it at scale and volume. But the two things she's been asking me about recently have been, funnily enough, apple cider vinegar, which it sounds like you're going into the production of, and horseradish. She can't find horseradish root anywhere in Portugal. Could you help with either of those?
I've looked. I did get the message, and I can. We might be able to get it later in the year, but I doubt if we'll get it at the moment.
Right, when it's seasonal.
Yeah, because it would have to be a summer thing from the UK, I think.
Wow, okay.
They don't really grow it here.
No, it's funny that, isn't it? It doesn't seem to be part of the palate, as it were, the Portuguese palate, horseradish.
I mean, I can't get horseradish, and the other one that I can never get, which is upsetting for some people, is I can get dried cranberries, but I can't get fresh ones.
Which is weird, isn't it? Because this is a country that loves growing soft fruit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you need big lakes for cranberries.
Okay.
I think they actually grow in lakes, I think.
Right.
I'm pretty sure, or like marshy, swampy land. One of the reasons they're so expensive is the danger of harvesting them, because there's loads of snakes and spiders in the water or something.
No way. Right. Okay. That's interesting.
And the other one I can never get is swede.
Again, you would think, wouldn't you, in a country that does like its root vegetables, you might be able to buy swede here. So there you go.
I mean, over the period that most people here call Natal or Christmas, but I call parsnips and Brussels.
Sprouts. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, off the back of that, then I get loads of people asking me for swede. I'm like, I've tried, but I just can't seem to find it anywhere.
Well, therein lies a niche, possibly. So, and maybe the apple cider vinegar. Are you going to go into big production? Are you with that sort of thing?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the upcoming jobs. It was really cold. It's been really cold here for maybe 2 weeks, like frost on the car every morning. And so I'm just going to check with my neighbours, because they seem to have some crazy intuition when it comes to the weather.
Yes.
Because it was not going to be long, I'm going to be pruning all my trees.
Right. Okay.
Like, so that'll be all the apple trees and everything like that. I think we only made apple cider vinegar and cider off of about 4 trees last year.
Right, I had some. I love that, and I think that is such a good tonic in its own right as well. Apple cider vinegar with a spoonful of honey, the old Honeygger, a very good tonic to have one of those a day. Very nice. It tastes like it's doing you some good. Now, we've caused a bit of a stir here, I think, this morning with talk of horseradish, and also we've also got Lee agreeing with the tax thing with the EVA. It's a good saving over the year. Very good. Good morning to you, Hugh. Congratulations coming in from Pete. We have flushed him out finally this morning. Opening a successful business in Portugal is even more tricky than in the UK. Yeah, and all sorts of levels. I'm endlessly fascinated by what you've done and admiring of what you've done, you and your family there, Jason. More tricky than in the UK, but you guys have succeeded due to hard graft. And Pete says that he can source both fresh cranberries and horseradish. Not that that's a great serving suggestion, the two together, but over in Castelo Branco, it seems like you might be able to. And T-Duck suddenly interested in that. Solo Life Portugal. Pete, horseradish, where? The horseradish in the stores is full of preservatives and not some of the best ingredients that you might want there. Curious, what stops people from growing their own horseradish? Or parsnips, for that matter. What is it? Is it a cultural thing, Jace?
I mean, parsnips is very hot here for parsnips.
Right.
For a start, you might be able to get them. I don't know, if you put them in to harvest, sort of Christmas time, you'd be looking at putting them in sort of July, August. and so they need an awful lot of water.
Right. Okay.
And they've also got very delicate taproot.
Right. Okay. And they need a bit of frost, as we're being told here by Peter as well. So
Okay.
I guess generally speaking, it's too hot in Portugal. That's a good reason. We like that. But in frostier parts, that's where you might be able to grow a few parsnips and horseradish. So there you go. The Great Horseradish Mystery may well be sold. And of course, there is the Parsnip Festival, which is a bit of a giveaway, isn't it, in Cavilhã, which I forgot about. Anything to do with parsnips, you can get over there. Jason, I know you got to go. How are those donkeys?
Donkeys are doing good. We've opened up the whole of the field to them now, so they can just wander around. They've got access to the woods. They've got all the grass in the field. My field looks amazing. They're my favourite new thing for 2025.
What the donkeys are? And then the field looks amazing because they've been nibbling it.
Yeah, they've eaten. It's like I can walk across my field at the moment with my trainers on and not get wet feet. Even better, I don't get wet shins because the grass isn't 3 foot tall.
Excellent. Oh, good for you. Well, love to the donkeys. Can you give us a very quick run through of your market roster, where you are and when you're there?
Absolutely, no worries. And so the shop, it will be open as always on Thursdays and Fridays. And then on Saturday mornings, we do the wonderful market at Figueira dos Vinhos, one of the bigger municipal markets in our area. Sunday, we are always now in Vila Facaia, our local market. Well, it's my favourite one now because I can nip over to the shop, grab 2 bread rolls and some bits and bobs from the butcher. Nice. And then the shop on the other side of the road, every Sunday morning they fire up a barbecue, and I get the stall set up. Oriel swaps out. I go and make some pigs in buns and go and stand around, drink a cafe com cheirinho with the old boys. It's a really nice feel at Vila Facaia. And then hopefully we're going to try and get into Pedrogo Grande.
Wonderful,
but
wonderful.
I've got to go and have another meeting with the camera.
What a schedule. Okay, and that's what you have to do, is you have to approach the camera and get official
yeah, well, because they want to see that all those little bits and pieces that we've been talking about, they need to file all your paperwork. And so you have to have your stuff from Finances, the fact that I'm a producer, and that I've got a number to be a mercadora, like a market trader.
Yes. Right.
And then once all that's been checked, then there shouldn't be any reason why we can't have a stall.
Very good, very good. Savvy Cat, do join me. I've just sent you the link. Please join me on the screen. As we say, have a great year to Jason Hall here.
I can see there, Pam says apple cider vinegar is easy to find. I just want to point out ours is organic, handmade, and full of probiotics, and so it's never been pasteurized. So if you buy apple cider vinegar in a shop, unless it says with mother, then all of the health benefits of that product have been rendered inert through the pasteurization process.
Yes.
So it's one of those things, it will say apple cider vinegar on the label. Yeah. But I can say with my hand on my heart that if you buy mine, it's a very different product to what you're going to get.
And that's doable, isn't it? I mean, that's a wonderful thing. There will be countries in the world where they'll have pasteurized not the hell, but the heaven out of certain living live products.
Any food that gets into the food chain, in general, has been pasteurized. And pasteurization works in the same way as, say, antibiotics. They're indiscriminate. So with antibiotics, it just attacks every cell. Yeah.
Right.
With pasteurization, yes, it does get rid of bad bacteria, but the way it achieves that is by getting rid of all the bacteria.
Yeah, that's right. That's such a modern way of thinking, isn't it? Which hopefully we can push back a bit on that. But the good news is, with the right sort of production facilities, you can do that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Like I say, I've written up a full food safety plan. Which it has to go through the same as, say, Coca-Cola or any of the big brands or anything like that. It's all about, you know, where we buy our ingredients from, how we store them, how we label it, how we handle it.
Wow.
Full processing for every product that it is you make, how you're going to make it, how you're going to record when it was made. And so you need like a data system to be able to record all the information and everything like that.
Incredible.
And then you've got labeling, transport. It's quite, it's an 80-page document.
Look, mate, we love you and appreciate everything you do to just bring some decent food to our plates. Paul, sorry to keep you as well. Paul wants you to come to Pedroga Grande, so you've got a customer there already. And Sarah Taylor is saying, road trip to Quinta Esencial. Thursdays and Fridays is when the shop's open, or pop to one of the other market dates. Excuse me. I've been drinking too much ACV and too quickly, possibly there. Jason, have a great day, and good luck with Linda later on.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
All right,
cheers,
take
guys.
Care. You take care. Bye for now.
Bye
ciao,
now.
Ciao.
Bye.
All right, there he goes. In central Portugal there. Yeah, head to Quinta Esencial for those wonderful foods that he grows, and some new ferments that are being planned there, and the new Pedroga Grande market appearance as well. So good news there for you, Paul, and others who live over that way. Savvy Cat Anna, do you want to give me a thumbs up if you're ready to join me on the screen? Yes, here she is, everybody. Olá, bom dia. Alegria, tudo bem?
Bom dia, Carl. You forgot about me.
I am so sorry, but we are so ready for you as well as that. You're absolutely right. Oversight on my part. Today has been a very strange setup. I woke up or came to the office this morning, the studio, to discover I hadn't even scheduled the show last night. And it was really, it's been, the fact that we're here at all is quite a miracle. And you're adding to that by blessing us with your presence this morning. And I'm so glad that ultimately it has all come together in the way it's done. So apologies for that. Scoop. And I'm so glad you're here, because we couldn't get you on earlier on this year with the way the dates fell. I promised you a slot, didn't I, later in the month, and then had an oversight with that.
Yeah, that's true. It's my first show up this year. You're right.
It is. So how's it going for you? How is 2025 treating you? It's an exciting year, I think, to be in the business.
It's been eventful.
Anything you want to share with us?
Insurances in Portugal suck.
As in business insurances, health insurances, which ones?
Car insurances. I got one of my company cars had avaria. So what? How do you translate that? Like a
crash or what? Or
no, not a crash. It was just a component that stopped working, and the car stopped working in all itself. And it turns out it's a factory thing. And now everyone is just, trying to push the problem to someone else. Like the car guarantee, the brand guarantee says it's outside the period. And now I had to send it out to the stand. And now they are trying to imply that it's not a problem from factory, but they're not doing a very good job, because it literally happened a week after it went to inspection on the brand. So they really cannot say it was due to lack of maintenance. And I've been out of a car for 2 months and kind of improvising thanks to that. And so I had this very improvised trip to the Silver Coast, as I had told you. Yes.
How was it? Did you have a nice time in my town last weekend?
Yes, I'm just really sad, because I was like, my original plan, because I wasn't able to come last week because I didn't have a car and I couldn't have anyone bring me. And so I was going to come next week. I actually was going to come yesterday. But I did decide to check the weather on Friday, and I realized it's going to be pouring. And pouring is not very compatible with video making.
Right.
And so I kind of ran to the Silver Coast on Friday and did some filming on Friday late afternoon and Saturday. But then Sunday, it was already completely full of clouds, as you know. Like, we went to a full blue sky with not a cloud to be seen on Sunday. And then Monday morning, there wasn't a patch of blue sky in the sky.
Yes. What? And you said to your mum on Sunday, "That's it. We need to get there today. Today is our opportunity. Let's go."
That was on Friday, yeah. But I
Yeah.
didn't manage to do everything I wanted because I was kind of hoping like the weather would keep, you know, being decent maybe a day longer, like yesterday would still be decent, but I didn't even get Sunday because the initial forecast was that Monday was going to be when it starts raining and Sunday would still be decent, but I didn't even have that luck.
Wow. Wow. Did you get anything in the can? Was it in any way successful?
Yeah, I did manage to film Foz do Aralho, Salir do Porto, and São Martinho do Porto.
You
And
did.
I got a bit of Nazaré on Friday, but it was basically just the sunset. And I'm still probably going to launch this video about the Silver Coast and get my agent Diana to do and gather the rest of the filming. I still went to the other locations. I went to Lourinhã and Ericeira. So this video is going to be comparing these cities in this area from Ericeira to Nazaré and a bit of the differences between them so people can understand what would be a better fit for them. As you know, they are quite similar when it comes to climate and landscape, just different sizes and amenities and that kind of thing, prices.
All right. And did you manage to get to the storytellers for lunch?
Yes, it was very nice. Actually, we ended up having a very productive conversation about charm hotels. Because as you know, I also had my charm hotel project, and he had some guests there that were exactly discussing investment in charm hotels. So it was an interesting coincidence.
I'm so glad, yeah, because Marco's got some very ambitious plans, hasn't he, to open similar hotels with that similar level of luxury to what you experienced.
Yeah, I even sent him my project for Aveiro.
Great.
And maybe I'll hear back from him one of these days.
Oh,
but yes,
I'm so glad to hear that.
Being a similar project to the storytellers.
Fantastic. And did your mum like it?
Yes, the food was amazing, and it was very, very artistic too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad because I didn't hear back from him. I'm thinking, oh dear, maybe that didn't go so well. But
No,
they looked after
terrible. I forget to tell people about things.
Between the pair of us, what are we like? Right? Grok, apparently. AI. This is a good, I mean, the letters AI can be found in horseradish. It's probably a great anagram. Look, Grok says horseradish is indeed sold at Caldas, a fruit market.
That's called rabanete in Portuguese, if I'm not mistaken.
Rabanete, did you say?
Rabanete. Yes.
Okay. And is it in your family's traditions?
My mom loves horseradish. Yeah, she likes it. That's the small that kind of looks like a turnip, but it's smaller and goes from white to pinkish. Yes.
I think so. I don't think I've seen it in its natural form. But what I do remember as a child is staying well away from it because it's like the English wasabi almost. It has that sinus clearing capability that wasabi has, which I think T-Duck must like. Fantastic. Fires are still smoking. He's cut his finger. I'm not going to show that picture to everybody, Lee. I'm dead impressed with the buckets of rain we've had all night. So he's out in the rain. Spare a thought for Lee, who's working.
Yeah, and they said there was going to be a thunderstorm today and tomorrow. I still haven't seen any thunder. But
I think we're in for a lot of rain, aren't we, this week? It's true. It's gone from being the cold winter back to like last year's wet winter.
As far as I can see, the weather, like my app tells me like 10 days, it's all rain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the forecast I was giving earlier on. But it can change, can't it? In Hertfordshire, fog has disappeared. Now blue skies. Off to the coffee shop shortly. Have a great day, everyone. And Denise, lovely to see you here. Denise Kearney, good morning. People quite concerned, I think. Oh, rabanete is radish. I believe horseradish is a different vegetable. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. Yes, there is similar pungency. I think you're right. Yes, now when you described it as pink to white, that does look like and sound like a radish. I think it's more like maybe a mini parsnip, it looks like, which of course you can go over at Coviglia. James was asking if it was a Dacia or a Dacia, your car. It sounds like a horrible position to be in.
A Peugeot 3008, and apparently that specific model already has a very known factory problem. That is what I had. They even got recalled in France, but we're in Portugal, so no one cares. And I just have to take people around.
Collins, who is our Go Motoring Portugal man, of course, says the best advice on that car problem is search for a forum for that car. I am sure there'll be advice and details how to put pressure on the manufacturer, which I suppose all roads lead, pardon the pun, back to the manufacturer. And what horrible
I'm actually
situation
trying to deal with the stand where I bought it, because I bought it semi-new, which, to be honest, is what I recommend to do here in Portugal. You know, those semi-news from the stands that they use for demonstrations and just employee use and so on. So I bought it with like 10 or 15K kilometers within a year. And supposedly I got the same guarantee that I would get from factory, from new, that would be 3 years. So it's still within the stand guarantee. So I'm hoping that eventually they solve the problem, but it's been 2 months. Like everything in Portugal, it takes forever, and it's driving me crazy.
Well, I hope, I wish for you a speedy resolution on that. It's not good for the company or the stand, is it, that you've been dealing with and their reputation? And I suppose when companies can blame each other, sometimes that's when it goes horribly wrong like that.
But to be fair, it was also kind of my fault of not knowing how these things operate, because I initially sent it to the brand stand closest to where the problem was, and it was also where it did the inspection like a week before, because they had a malfunction exactly a week after the inspection, which was very suspicious, to be honest.
Yes, there is that.
And so I sent it to the same place, and they just took forever to give me a reply. First, they were like sending me a fatura bill of 5,000 for the repair, and I'm like, I'm not paying that. Yes.
Right.
And my agent Marco, he was the one that used that car. He was like, this is a more than known factory problem. Yes. And so I started like, dude, I'm not going to pay for that. This is a factory problem.
Yep.
And then the brand was like, oh, we don't care because it's outside of the brand guarantee, because the brand guarantee apparently in Peugeot is 3 years, which I do think it's kind of ridiculous for a car. I mean, you buy a car, those cars new that they cost like 45,000 or something, and you only get a guarantee for 3 years. Come on, I have travel luggage with more guarantee than that.
You're right. There is a problem with car manufacturers in Portugal.
But,
you see this from Coach Turner. They tend to have an Iberian HQ, so Portugal suffers from being the smaller market. Better support in Spain, I suspect.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and Lee.
And so the brand guarantee had ended in March 2024, and the malfunction happened in November 2024. So it was out of the period, and so I didn't know what I had to do, but I only found out like a month later, when I was kind of screaming at everyone at this point, and they were like, "Oh, you have to bring it to the shop, the car shop from the stand where you bought it." So I had to pay for it to get towed from one car shop to the other. And now they are kind of slowly analyzing it in this other car shop.
Well, I never. Okay, well, French cars getting a little bit of a bad press this morning. Hyundai has a 7-year warranty. There you go. That, maybe next time on that. Now, the big question when you're with us, of course, look, Savvy Cat, your guide to relocating to Portugal. This is what Anna Caramuja does, who's with us this morning. How has it been going into the new year? What's new in your business? I'm guessing it's quite an exciting time to be doing what you're doing, Anna.
Yeah, it's been quite busy. This is probably the most calls we've had per week in 2 or 3 years, probably like 3 years probably. We've had like 14 calls when we booked in the first week after we got back from vacation. So definitely a lot of interest showing, especially with the US market and the whole Trump situation. Another thing that I discovered recently, and I don't know if you are up to date on it, and I was quite surprised, is this a new tax that Spain is trying to implement of non-European Union residents.
Yes,
have you been discussing that?
Well, I did. I mentioned it yesterday morning, and it's over on the website. And it's the idea that Portugal might copy Spain, who haven't actually, to be fair, they've not put it into law yet, have they? This 100% tax.
No, they didn't even show any interest. I think there was like Greece and Italy said they were interested in doing the same, but the Portuguese government has not pronounced themselves. I do think it would be kind of silly given they already removed all the other expats programs that they had.
Yeah.
So if they did something like that, it would be kind of killing the market. And I don't think that would be good for the government at all. So if they did something like that, they would have to re-implement at least something like either the NHR or the golden visa for housing, because the measure itself, it's not that horrible. It doubles the tax that it would be the EMI tax, so the EMT tax, so the transaction tax when foreigners buy the property. So you get a bit more, and it can be quite a bit. I mean, EMT, as you know, it can be like 15-30K depending on the price of the property. So doubling that, it's quite a bit of money. But
100%, as you say, would be very well. It would be very injurious to the country's reputation around the world, wouldn't it? And attractiveness, I suppose, more to the point. And I think often,
but I do think
foreigners love that sort of.
If Portugal doesn't follow Spain in that measure. And Spain did implement that measure, but they did also pick up on some other programs that were attractive from what I'm not exactly within that, but I am under that impression that when Portugal banned the NHR and the golden visa, Spain picked up some things and presented some programs.
Yeah.
So on the other hand, I do think that if Portugal doesn't follow on this proposal, it's likely that we will have an extra influx to Portugal, because a lot of people from the US end up choosing Spain because there's a lot of people speaking Spanish in the US due to the proximity to Mexico. And probably Portugal would likely be the next option.
Yes. So if they don't do it, if the Portuguese government doesn't do it, it will make Portugal even more attractive compared to Spain. And I think the sequence of events with this and the Portuguese, if you want to talk to him about this tonight, come and join us, because we probably will mention this. He did a video straight away hearing about this. And the way it came to him was via an English newspaper that picked up on this fact that Spain were thinking about it and Portugal might copy it. Now,
I think the Portuguese government has pronounced itself on it at all so far.
Exactly.
So
it's speculation. It's speculation from a British newspaper, and British newspapers love this sort of story. So, but by the end of it, you're thinking, actually, the government are thinking of doing this when it's not. You know, one government spokesperson in Portugal, maybe from a left-wing party that thinks, tax the foreigners. This is killing our, the housing possibilities for our local people. Put a massive tax on them. They only need to say that to a newspaper in Portugal. A British paper might pick up on it, and before you know it, they're saying, they're going to put 100%. And I think this has got completely out of hand. It's unlikely that Spain's parliament will pass this proposal, says Paul as well. Media sensationalism, say it's not so. Silly me, how naive of me to even
I've
explain
also commented that when I first heard about that, I was like, I don't know if this will go through, because it's kind of balanced discrimination, and even if the Spanish parliament manages to approve it, I am not so sure it would be within European Union regulations. And we've seen stuff like this happen in the past, like governments trying to approve certain measures and they've been backtracked in European Union. So we will see.
And also, there's no guarantees, Anna. If you do pay 100% tax in Spain, that doesn't mean you're guaranteed not to be sprayed with a water pistol when you're sat outside a Barcelona tapas bar. You want a guarantee of that if you've paid 100% tax, I'm sure. Before you go, we are past our usual 9 o'clock end time, but it's lovely hanging out and talking with you and finding out what's going on with you. If people want to come and explore with you, they like the sound of what you're saying, they like the offer that your company has, how should they get in touch, and what offers have you got at the moment for them?
You can check out our website in www.savvycatrealty.com. We have support both for rentals and for purchases. We are a team full of locals, and our main concern is for clients to make reliable and sustainable choices, either when renting or when purchasing. And we are definitely concerned about not inflating the prices more than necessary. We also work from a lifestyle perspective and try to help people match with the right location, whether that be a neighborhood or a town, for them to match their own particular needs, which, as we all know, differ a lot from person to person.
Yeah.
And expats are not supposed to know the country well. I mean, they are just getting here. So we are here to help you find out where is best for you, and then help you all the way through until you are settled here, whether that be rental or purchase.
It's the opposite of the experience of finding all this out through social media, isn't it? Other foreigners advising you, who, when you go back to speak to them or question them about something, either get angry or who have disappeared. You're going to get some proper hand holding and some proper insight from real Portuguese people with the Savvy Cat Realty team led by Anna, who you see on the screen here. Anna, sorry about the earlier mix-up. I'm glad we ended up having our conversation. Sorry to hear about your car. And I hope that's resolved for you soon. And we'll see you again next month at the normal time. Right?
It's actually like 2 weeks from now, right? Because of this delay. Like, we see it on the 7th. So
we see you on the first Friday normally, don't we? And it was because of the way the things fell, we didn't get to see you. But I'm glad we've put that right now. Yeah, good luck with the car, and looking forward to your video of the Silver Coast. When might that be out?
Probably not this Friday, but either next Friday or the one after. And I'm thinking it's probably that Friday, not this week, but next week.
Very good. Look forward to that. That might be the Friday you're on here. So
yeah, maybe.
All right. All the best to you. Love to the team, and take care. And bye for now. Ciao, ciao. See ya. Bye-bye. There she goes, Savvy Cat Anna Caramuja. And we do have a video to play you from Lee, who's got a poorly finger. He's hurt himself. Be more careful, Lee. Although with all the rain, though, that'll wash your wound. Can't stay, but just wanted to say bon dia. Good morning to you, OLP. Lovely to see you. Great big crowd here this morning. It's fantastic to see so many people watching the Good Morning Portugal show. We visit Spain pretty often. Since they passed anti-privacy laws, we now stay on this side of the border and drive in for the day. There you go, Spain. If you don't treat people well, they won't come and visit. 10% of the property market in Spain is bought by UK non-EU residents. And there was that Squire of the Shires. Morning, Squire. I think of the 600,000 homes that are sold in Spain, less than 30,000 was to non-EU citizens. That brings a perspective to it, doesn't it? I thought you were flying the Jolly Roger Thunder Duck there. And I do. Yes, I do fly the Jolly Roger. You're absolutely right. Right there. Okay. Oh, yes, I see. Piracy laws, privacy laws. I see what you did there, Coach Turner. And funny enough, he does fly the Jolly Roger. Let's watch a movie with Lee. The Great Outdoors. That's what we're talking about. If you want to grow more food, more of your own food, experiment with that. Maybe grow those beans that I spoke about a couple of weeks ago. That project where you can be part of growing some beans, even on your balcony, and be part of a European project that's about putting the pulse, the Humble Pulse research project, if you want to grow them. And I'm sure you can keep them and eat them as well. There was that a couple of weeks ago that you'll find on our YouTube channel. Here, inspiration from Lee, and we'll have more of these as he inspires and guides you on how to grow your own. and we'll get him on the screen during this coming year as well. On this, what is this? Is this the third Tuesday? Yes, it is. What used to be called the Kinter Crew. Here he is, head gardener Lee McGrady, showing you how he built some planters. We'll see you again tomorrow. You might see me with the Portugueser at 7. And if you're a Portugal Club member, see you at the social at 8:30 this evening. Take care. Bye for now.
Good morning, Carl. Good morning, people. This is going to be the first video of a series that we'll do over the summer. So I'm just going to start off just getting straight into it. These are some raised beds that I acquired over the winter. They come in sections. There's 2 different sorts, small black ones, which look quite cool, but I like these larger greyer ones, and we've got the space. So I'm going to be using these in our garden as part of the ongoing project. I've been assembling them today, really simple to assemble. And I think they give quite a good aesthetic. Garden's not tidy at the moment, I'm working on it. But this is an almost completed one. So that's got the membrane in and the wood chip. This one's just got membrane down at the moment. I need to get some wood chip for it, because I want to use better quality wood chip for inside the beds, just so it looks tidier. This stuff's great, but it's not exactly aesthetically pleasing. This one is just a round one. It's going to be my carrot bed, so I'm going to seed that this week. So I put better quality soil in there. Underneath that is just soil out the garden, but that's better quality soil just to get the seeds going. And this is one I'm working on. So at the moment it's just got a membrane underneath it, and on top of that membrane is grass cuttings, twigs, bark from the firewood pile, a bucket full of weeding I did this morning. So I'm going to half fill this with trash, garden trash, green waste, green compost, and then I'll top it up with 6 to 8 inches, 6 inches of good quality soil, and then I'll put a membrane on it like that. My intention is to run irrigation systems through them all, so it minimises the care and effort I have to put into it. Really, it just saves me time over the summer. These are my potato tubs, so far I'm going on 10 or 12 of those. They're just potatoes buried at the bottom, and as they grow I'll just top them up, and we should get quite a good crop from these. And the great thing is, once the potatoes have grown and the heads have fallen, or the plant has fallen over, we can retain them in the boxes until we actually need them. So yeah, first video, and I'll if it goes alright, then I'll do some more throughout the summer, maybe one a week. Thanks a lot, all have a great day. Bye.
Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.